Hey, I'm Chuck. Today we're going to turn that hill into a 100-foot slip and slide. We're going to start by measuring out our 100 feet and placing these flags so we know where our tarp is going to go. All right, start one, like every good strategy in life, we're going to begin with the end in mind. We want the slide to end on a flat part so that people don't just fly down the hill and go rolling into the grass. We want to choose a flat spot where we can end, and this is going to be the finish line. So we're going to start by placing a flag right here in the ground. Then we're going to measure off 100 feet and we'll place some more flags as we go. Okay, so we're going to create some bumpers using these pool noodles. We went to our dollar store and we bought most of a box. Since our slide's going to be 100 feet long, it would have been something like 50 bucks for us to buy enough noodles to go the whole length of each side. We decided to go a little bit cheaper than that, and so our bumpers aren't going to go the full length. But what we're going to do is we're going to string these together. We bought some string, and we're going to use this to drop down through the holes in these tubes so that we can string them together, and then we will use that underneath to keep the water to stay on the tarp. Here's our tarp. We got a 100-foot long 4 mil plastic tarp. Comes out of the paint section at Home Depot or Lowe's. We got this one here. It's 10 feet wide and 100 feet long, so we're going to have a 100-foot long slip and slide. It's going to be fun. Then we needed to have a sprinkler, a way to get water on this tarp, and we're not sure what's going to work best. There are some who show some really cool ways to build a PVC sprinkler that goes over the top. We might wind up doing that, but we wanted to get started fast today and cheap. And so we went with one of these. It was $4. We're going to attach this to the end of a hose. If I want to, we can mount it on a step ladder or something easy that will allow it to spray down onto the top of the tarp. I also picked this up for another $4, and that way, if I need a dad job, I can spray the kids or I can spray up and down the tarp to keep it good and wet. Let's get started. We're going to put this thing together. To make sure we have enough hose to get from the house to the hill, we picked up a 100-foot hose, and that was only about 20 bucks for that 100 feet of hose. Here's one of my helpers. Here's Tyson.
Hey.
And he is helping me thread this string onto the nuts. Let's put 2 or 3 on there so that we're using these to just put some weight on the string. There's other guys who've made videos about how to make these, and so this isn't a tip that I learned from others on YouTube. And so we put these on the string so that it weights the string and we can just drop it down through the tube. And so what he's going to do is tie a knot. Here's a tube. And then drop that down through the hole. Go ahead, you take that. And it should come right out the bottom nice and easy. And then we're going to grab, once it comes out the bottom, we'll grab another one, there it is, and string it through the next tube as well, so that we wind up with a giant, my daughter said, like a candy necklace where we string all these tubes together, and that's gonna make them one big bumper edge instead of a bunch of little pieces. So we'll get those strung together, one for each side of our slide. Okay, so we've got our tarp, our 100-foot long, 10-foot wide, 4 mil tarp. It's here at the top of our hill. Tyson has gone and pulled out the flags that we placed, and we're just gonna give this thing a push and see how it goes. Ready?
Yeah.
Easy as that.
So right now we're just gonna unfold it.
Smile tape.
All right, we're here in the shop. In order to finish off our bumpers with those pool floaty tubes, we need to have some kind of a cap we can put on the end. So where that string comes out, we need something larger than that hole we can tie the string to so it doesn't pull back through. To find something to use, I'm gonna dig in my recycle bin. So let's come over here and just digging around in here. Something like, here's the lid to a coffee creamer. I can tie a piece of string through that hole right there. This will pull right up against the end of that tube, and it's going to do the job perfectly, so I don't even have to drill a hole. If I can't find a top like that, here's one like off a salsa jar. I can just drill a hole in this one, and then I've got 2 stoppers that'll go on the end of those tubes. So let's do that. We'll drill the hole, and we'll be ready to go. All right, there we have our slide. We've got our pool noodle borders that are running down about halfway on each side to keep the water in. We did another little pool noodle border just around the very bottom to kind of make a little collecting pool at the very end of the ride. One last thing that we did that seems like a really good idea is I took our little pop-up tent that we have, little Easy Up, and set this up at the top of the hill. This does two things for us. It gives us some shade while you're waiting for your turn, and it also becomes a place where we can mount our sprayer. And so I'm going to use some zip ties and mount our sprinkler head right there on top of the tent so we can spray down on this. We'll get that mounted up and then we'll give this thing a try.
And this is the sprinkler that we hooked up to the thing.
So we have discovered a couple things. We've learned that the tighter the tarp, the faster the ride, and the heavier the person. So our big people go farther. Here goes Tyson. Let's give it a good run. Ty, show us how far you can go. If he gets a little running jump, he can get going pretty far. Here he goes, all the way to the end. All right, there you have it. There's our slide. It's not perfect, but it's a whole lot of fun. Way cheaper than renting an inflatable, and it gives us a lot of fun on this Memorial Day holiday that we made this video. Hope you guys like it. Make your own. Have some fun.